Some potential good news for the Montreal Canadiens. Chris Johnston, Yoel Armia could be back in the Habs lineup. Luke Richardson not saying for sure, saying his game time decision, but all signs point to that being the case. Just how much of a boost will that give the Habs if he is back?
Well, I think it gives them sort of that feel to their lines when things are rolling so well for them through these playoffs. Shawn back, he had a ton going on in a positive manner with Corey Perry and Eric Stahl. And it's not as though Jake Evans, who played game one in his place, did poorly. In fact, I thought he had a pretty good game there. But I do think it restores Montreal to the lineup that really had them on that run where they went 11-2 during one stretch during these playoffs. And, for Armia, it's been a pretty chaotic couple days. He gets a positive COVID test. Ultimately misses game one because he has to stay off the ice for a few days. I think getting him back maybe just restores the balance that Montreal had found and was working for them.
Now, some bad news for Tampa. Alex Killorn will not play in game two. How much does that hurt them?
Well, it's for me, Alex Killorn is one of those guys that flies under the radar, right? But he's killing penalties. He's on their power play and eats up a significant number of even strength minutes as well. And so there's the good news for Tampa, I suppose, there's such a deep team. Maybe move someone like Tyler Johnston up to his spot in the lineup. They have players to replace him, but he does fill an important need. And when you look at Tampa's playoff run so far, they've really been healthy up front since Nikita Kucherov came back in to start that playoffs. And so this will be the first time maybe they've had to alter their dynamic, and they might have to find their way through that.
So enough with the news and notes in the lineup. Let's get to the actual game. The Montreal Canadiens got worked over a little bit in game one by the Lightning, but what have you seen from them in the past that gives you confidence that they're a team that can bounce back and show resiliency like they have all playoff long?
Well, I think they do an excellent job of not beating themselves typically. And when they looked at game one, Shawn, they thought that they beat themselves just with some of the turnovers that led to the first three goals. Lose Nikita Kucherov on the fourth goal off a face-off play. That they felt that those are things that when they're playing at their best, when they're crisp, those sorts of goals don't go in. Basically, they make teams work really hard to score on them because they don't give away freebies. And so, the fact that they have a belief mindset, that they've done so well in these playoffs, and I think that they know that they can play a game that's going to make it tough on the Lightning, that gives them a chance to bounce back and win game two. And look, we've seen them, takes a tough loss against Toronto in the second game of that series. The opener against Vegas, they've always found a way to claw back, and I would expect we'll see a much better effort from them in game two.
Chris, it won't be easy for the Habs, but they've proven all playoff long that they are more than capable of bouncing back after a tough game one loss.